Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
It's rhetorical, but I'm going to say it. Life isn't always easy. There's always something going on. Things are happening around you. Sometimes they're challenging. Sometimes they're very serious. Sometimes you're at the end of your proverbial rope. How do I deal? How to get through life's adversity and how to change the way things look and change the situation. We're going to talk about that today. She is a master intuitive coach, registered clinical hypnotherapist. She's a speaker, she's an author, corporate trainer, consultant, and she's back with us. Nadiya Manji joins us here on the program. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Steve. How are you today?
Real good, real good. We can all relate to this topic. Things pop up, the adversities in life. I guess the first thing is not to panic and freak out. Easier said than done, but many of us look at like, oh my gosh, how am I going to deal with that? What about this? What about that? What do you do when something comes up? What do you suggest? How does somebody deal with it? They just realized something, just heard something changed in their life. What would be step one to deal with an adversity?
Very good question, Steve. I would first like to greet my viewers who are available today or listening to me. First thing, I think you just stated that when things happen, we don't know. We don't know the future, what's going to happen in the next minute. So first thing comes is attitude and mindset in that situation when you're going through it. And someone will say that, how do you think about a positive mindset when you have heard the most worst news of the day or of your life, or you woke up and you heard about your financial collapse, or you heard about a loss of a dear one, or you experienced something that you were not expecting? I think this is what we go through every day in our life. As a life coach, I meet with people when they reach out to me. I'm having this issue. I don't know how to deal with it. It's my everyday question, what you've asked today. Well, first thing I'll say how I deal with it, and then if you can relate to it.
Sure.
Sometimes my day doesn't start as great as I want, even though I've done my journaling, even though I've done my positive affirmations, but life throws challenges at you. And when that comes to me, over the years, the thing that I've always noticed that you have to go into acceptance of the situation that this has happened. The first thing we go into that fight or flight mode is that why, how, why me?
Yep.
And when you ask the question, you said, how can we change it? It's more about perception. And you have to learn or coach yourself. It's like about self-coaching. How to coach yourself to look at different perception and stay and maintain your own sanity in challenging situations. You can be, today we had a situation, if it works out, you release. Attachment to results and attachment to outcome, what we are projecting in our mind takes us to the end situation and we become anxious, scared, angry, all the negative emotions start coming up at the surface. Coming back to how to deal with it is, again, first is that this is happening, this has happened. No one's against me that is why it's happening, or universe doesn't love me, or God doesn't love me, this is why it's happening to me. So I learned a very great technique from my guru that I have, who has mentored me, and I have learned in my spiritual practices, is that nothing happened to you, it happens for you. That has really helped me. And anytime when I face challenges, I ask myself this question, what does this bring for me? Because I held on to it. It became my coping mechanism. So we have to understand our own coping mechanism. How do we like to cope with? 10 people can tell you, be positive, don't worry about it. And sometimes it becomes more irritating than a support because you are processing your own emotion. And that's life. I'm speaking total transparency here. People say, hey, don't worry about it. It will all be good. And then inside you're saying, how the hell do you know what I'm going through? Yet you're being polite and taking their suggestions, although they mean well. But you are not taking that well. You have your own battles going on in there. So immediately you want to blame somebody. You want to throw the blame. Like, because of this, this happened to me, because you're looking for reasoning. So adversities don't happen to you, they happen for you, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical. Last week, I went on a hike and I was at the highest vibration of my positivity. But coming down, I lost the balance and slipped. And I hurt my right knee, got an MCL sprain. Now,
Hmm.
in that moment, when you're at the high positivity, everything is going really well for you, you're having a great day. And when this happens, the first thing, if it was the past me, would say, this always happens when I'm happy, something goes wrong. Or the version of the past version of myself would have probably gone that way. But here is the thing that I said, it's hurting. It's not what I expected. It's super annoying. But knowing that, what is this bringing for me? What is this doing to me, for me? And then when I sat with it in stillness and just really embraced it, that yes, it's hurting, I'm accepting it, changed my perception, probably it's time to slow down.
Hmm.
Because you have that higher intelligence which has the answers, but we don't listen. So it goes back to adversities. And again, I say it is easier said than done. And anytime when I've talked to you, I try to be as practical, as real as I can be. That it's easier to listen to people when they are talking to you, when they're giving you suggestions. But when what you are going through, you need your own processing, your own integration of things. And until and unless you don't lend that, this becomes a problem.
I completely relate to what you just said because over the weekend, I had a lot going on. I was jumping around, bouncing around, doing this. And then I realized my ankle feels a little weird. I wonder if I sprained it or just a slight sprain. And I'm like, it hurts walking upstairs. It's going to sound crazy. Maybe you won't think so, but I mentally just vibed my ankle and just said, I need you to heal. I don't I don't support a problem. I need you to support me. And I just thought that way. And today it feels way better. And the first thing I thought of was what you said. Gotta be a little more mindful, a little more careful. As we get older, things change in the body. Now it's
Slow
on my
down.
radar. And that especially going up and down steps, take it a little slower. Um, but I didn't go into a victim mentality like, oh God, what's going to happen? What if it gets worse? How am I going to get around? What am I like? No. Would you say that if somebody does that, just says, goes down the negative road, like what if it gets worse? And the same thing in your situation, right? And what if I can't walk in a day? What if it swells up? Is there a reason to believe that you're putting it out into the universe and potentially that's exactly what could happen?
So again, it's energy, Steve.
Mm,
What you perceive, you project. Perception is projection.
sure.
Got it, right? If I'm perceiving it to be the worst experience of my life, so will it be. If I'm looking at it, what does this bring for me? It comes to universal law. We say inhale and exhale, giving and receiving. Universe never takes or gives without giving anything, or anything positive doesn't happen with the side of negative. It's always hand in hand. So if something has happened, what good comes out of it? So for
Mm,
me, it came out that when I took 2 days off, I sat down and I got a lot of things done, which were pending, which I didn't pay attention to while I was running, going on, procrastinating. So sometimes anything that goes wrong or has a challenge comes across as challenging. And if you start or begin to look at it, that what good comes with it? What is good? Like COVID, when you look at it, oh my God, this happened, the world shut down. But what good happened with that? Families became closer. And some people had the opposite. Some people had more relationship challenges. Some people made their relationships better. Some businesses did well, and some people really had a big challenge with their businesses. But something good along the line did happen when the bad or wrong was happening. So trying to bring your perception into that direction is important in adversities. And how can I make this into my favor? I can come out of victim mentality to victor mentality. We've heard it all the time. But in practice, it's very different. So
Hmm.
constantly, I remind myself, if this is happening for me, what does this bring for me? And more I do, more I see this really blending well into my life and bringing positivity, because I'm just focusing on the good that comes out of any challenging situation.
Would you say it's the way that you look at it? For example, let's say somebody suffers a slip, fall, they banged up their leg really well. Maybe they need to take some time off of that leg. But if you were to look at the whole situation, maybe the universe is pushing them to now focus in a different area. For example, maybe they've always wanted to write a book or start a business plan, and they've been putting it off. And this is how it went. Now they have the time, and now they can focus on it
Yeah.
instead of running around. Maybe it's the universe's way of nudging in a certain
Mhm.
direction to get that done. Is that reasonable?
Yes. Nothing happens without a reason.
I agree.
That's what I always have believed, and that has always helped me. Breaking through adversity is something that we are inbuilt for. We will not stay in that situation for long. We are designed to fight back, bounce back. It's a choice. If you choose to stay and stay stuck in that situation, no one can help you.
Yeah.
Today, if I'm in this trouble, no one can come and walk for me. I still have to walk. I still have to manage my body, still have to manage my day. It's a choice. I can sit down, shut the door, get angry, and not talk to anyone. Or I can say that, okay, now I've got this time since I have this issue. What can I put my focus on? Instead of focusing on the pain, I can focus on the passion, purpose, or potential. Nothing happens without a reason. Again, easier said than done when it comes with the loss of a loved one or major losses that people feel. It's easier for us to talk like that, but then people are going through, they'll say, what do they know about it? Yes, it is true. But trust me, I've been through that. The worst situation, and only thing that helped, saying that I am alive. Nothing worse can happen than me not being alive. Until I'm alive, until I am strong, courageous, I have the resources to solve this. There's no problem that doesn't have a solution. So it's mindset and attitude and choices. It's a combination of that.
Things happen for a reason. I'm on your page with that for sure. And a lot of this,
Mhm.
do we ever know the reason? Does the reason, the plan always get revealed? Or maybe it doesn't? Or maybe you're looking for a reason, but that's not what it is, and it presents itself in a different way.
I think it's willingness to stay in that state to find the answers. The more resistance, I think we're talking more about seeing it like I'm experiencing right now when you're asking the questions about resistance, that we resist. It's part of our nature to resist that it didn't go as we planned. So we're not willing. Again, I said willingness to see what good can I see here. It's a choice. It's an attitude that you build.
But
It
how do we
doesn't
do
die.
that? Do we ask? Like, let's say you're in a situation, something happened to you, and you believe that things happen for a reason. There are no coincidences. What are some of the steps you can do to maybe get the answer? Is it ask the universe? Is it, practice a different way of looking at it?
Mhm.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I can say let go of the resistance when it happens. Don't go
Okay,
into pity saying, why me? The minute you say, why me, then you've shut the doors of universal external help.
sure.
When you say, show me, then doors open.
Mm-hmm.
Why me? Show me.
Yep. Gotcha.
Show me what this brings for me. Show me what is the answer here? What is the reason here? Show me the way. Now you're asking for help. Have you heard of this book called Ask and It's Given? There's a book called Ask and It's Given. And that book really helps to help you understand how to communicate with the universe. You are here on this planet to do something, whether it's your goals, your personal goal, professional goals, your your emotional challenges, your material challenges, or your physical challenges. Life is going to have that. It's inevitable. No one's against us, or no one is after us to harm us. That mentality needs to go. And knowing that, what is it that I am getting out of this? What is my situation coaching me, teaching me? What am I supposed to learn from this? If you hold on to that attitude, it makes it easier. I'm not saying it's going to go away, but it will make the journey easier.
Hmm. The
People will
manif-
resist. Sorry, go ahead.
You mentioned manifesting when we first started today, and
Yeah.
manifestation connected to adversity. How does that look? Can you explain?
Well, what you focus expands, right? Whatever you put your energy, it will expand, whether it's good or bad. So might as well make it good. If you're going to think about its energy, you're putting your focus there. Why this happened to me? I'm so sad. I'm depressed. You're expanding it, amplifying it. But if you say that, I accept this happened to me, but I'm not going to give in to the negativity of that. So it's about choice and mindset. You can always change your direction. You are the pilot of your plane of your life. You are the driver of your car. You want to take your steering to the right or the left, it's your choice. Again, I say no one is doing this to you. Choices, lessons, unconscious beliefs, and patterns have led you here. Now it's your job, if it's a pattern, that every time I'm doing this, this happens. Every time something goes right, bad happens. That means it's a pattern. What can I do about it? I'm not going to give in to this. Surrender doesn't mean that you don't have an option. Surrender is no resistance. And that is the high level acceptance. This has happened to me. I'm not going to give in to the negative. I'm going to choose, no matter what, I'm going to find that this has happened. And what can I learn from this? What can I do about it?
Can you, let's say you went through something, you're now in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
Can you manifest a positive outcome?
Yeah.
Okay.
Many times in my life, I've seen when, um, in my own entrepreneurial journey with my husband, that things really went wrong. That when buying basic was even hard, but faith that nothing can go worse. Nothing can go worse than this. I always say that nothing can ever go worse than that. There's always positivity that's coming. There's always day after the night and night after the day. So being in that state of not giving in to that adversity, that, oh, this is my life or this is my reality, nothing ever happens, I am always going to be in that. I never went there. Instead, I use a statement, this is not my reality, it's transition. Once I heard Steve Harvey saying that when you know you are in the hell, then why are you choosing to stay there? Keep going.
It is a point. And how do you stay in the hell? By complaining about being in the hell.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Just keep going. This is going to end. Having that belief system comes in very strongly here, Steve. People need to know we are in this age and time where everyone is talking about mindset. Everyone's talking about attitude, behavior, choices, unconscious mind. Take accountability and responsibility of your behavior. You create your destiny. I'm not going into challenging universe or destiny, but you have a choice of action that was given to you since the time you were born. Like we have a choice when we're driving a car whether we go right or left, even though sometimes we have GPS and we know the route, and you say, you know what, GPS is taking me to this route, let me just take that. I know I go on this road every day. Then you go there and you find out why GPS was taking you there. You just say, I should have just followed GPS even though I take this route. Choice. You made a choice not to listen to the GPS. So intuition is always there. Your inner being will always guide you, whether you listen, you don't listen. Your situations will always end up in a way that a year later, few years later, a few months later, you will go and say, now I know why this happened.
Well, when you talk about the GPS, it could be your intuition that you didn't
Yeah,
listen.
you
You
didn't
didn't
listen.
listen. You know the answer. You just didn't listen to it. Hmm.
It always guides you. That's why nowadays we're open to meditation, stillness, calmness, so that we can listen. Start listening. Start listening what comes to you when you start your day. Challenges will come. I had a challenge today and this morning. I had a challenge last week. But it's just the attitude. Help is always available. You may not know the answer yet, but you will know.
Agreed. Agreed. There's a song, you don't even know the song. Came out in the 70s. It was just a song on an album, and it's called Part of the Plan. And essentially what it says, one day we'll all know. And it talks about I'm going to paraphrase here, but one day I'm feeling great. I'm holy and humble. Those are two words used there. The next day I'm falling apart and I'm crumbling. And there's a reason for it, and it's part of the plan. And one day we'll all know. So I believe one day somebody said to me, it'll always be revealed. Whatever is going on, you think somebody's up to no good, it'll be revealed. Somebody, yeah, some way, somehow, it all comes clean. Part of that is patience. You just got to wait. You got to wait for the in universe time, not your own, for it to reveal itself. Because it will. You just got to
Hmm.
wait, sit back.
Patience. You just say
Patience.
patient, perception,
Yeah.
right? Processing. These are all the part of the journey. When you're looking to go to a life coach or working with a life coach, you always say that I need answers. I'm not able to cope. So you reach counselors or you reach out to a friend, family member, guardian, whoever you go to. What do you expect? The first thing from them is that you want them to listen. And while you are talking and they're listening, you are also getting your answers. And how many times you've caught yourself that now that I'm hearing myself speak, I'm already understanding why this happened. Many times it's happened to me when I'm going through some challenges and my friend called and said, "What happened to you?" And I said, "I was going down the hill and I missed a step and I fell down. I tried to save my knee and I landed on the left leg and I hurt my hip and my knee. And but while I'm talking to you, I'm realizing that this is how exactly probably I handle things roughly. I
Hmm.
overtrust.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
overestimate, underestimate or overestimate. There's some balance missing. So I lost the balance. So you get the awareness, Steve, as you go through it.
Hmm. Interesting. Um, I've heard
While
that even,
talking.
yeah, yeah. When it takes some soul searching, but when those things happen, it can relate to other things in your life. And
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Like,
yeah.
maybe you trust too much. I'll be fine. I'm just jumping up and down. No problem. Bam. Got a
Blind
problem.
trust.
Yeah.
Blind trust, no strategy, no risk evaluation. That you know that you're going, you wanted to reach faster, you could have slowed down, you could have evaluated better, you
Right.
could have taken let go of the shame that, oh, everybody's going, I have to go. Listen to your body and listen to yourself. And what I realized that when we were going on that hike, that steep space, just few minutes ago when we reached the landing, I told myself, I'm not going there. And then I said, no, I'm not somebody who gives up. I'm going to go there. So intuition comes in very different layers. And you just say that, okay, if I heard what I was hearing, would I have saved myself this damage? Probably yes. But then I wanted to reach the peak of the mountain knowing that I can make it anyways. Both the lessons are strong. Whether I went,
Hmm.
I got the lesson. I hurt myself, but I also know that I'm not a quitter. I never give up. I need to evaluate and plan better. I need to slow down and look at things better. But if I didn't go, I would have said, I listened to my intuition. Thank God I didn't go. But I could have had a regret.
Sure.
There's never anything wrong, That's what I'm trying to say. Adversity, you do your best in that moment and trust that it will unfold.
Lots to think about here, but this is universal. This is it.
Yes.
So take the time to think, listen, or call a coach like yourself. How do
Yes.
we find you?
Find on my website, nadiyamanji.com. You can find me on Instagram on my Nadiya Manji official, and you can search me and book a clarity call. Follow me on Instagram. I put a lot of stuff every day there to help my followers to listen and get some information to support yourself in your daily life.
I appreciate everything today. A lot of insight. Take care of your leg. Hope it's all good. And we'll catch up next time, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.